And welcome to episode one of the Under the Lights podcast. I'm your co-host, Jackson Sadler. They call me Herb. Um, my co-host, Chase Tidwell and Callum Reeves. How y'all boys doing this morning?
How's it going, everybody?
Feeling good, living that college
Yeah,
lifestyle, you know?
I'm ready.
Life.
Man, how y'all feeling? I know Callum probably didn't watch it, but how you feel about the Ryder Cup, Chase?
I'm a little disappointed how
I mean,
how
I
we came
didn't
out
I
this
didn't
year.
wake up and start watching it till like probably 8:30 or 9, and I looked on my phone and I was like, what the like how
Yeah, it was
I,
electric
I,
though.
Oh, it
DeChambeau,
already happened? It already started?
DeChambeau in the first hole. I
I didn't
saw that kind of
realize.
stuff.
yeah,
He was hyping up the crowd.
it was
Everyone's like,
electric.
he's a football player trapped in a golf player's body.
Where's it
But
at?
It's in the U.S.
uh,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah, they
I
like
don't know.
alternate.
yeah.
But I think they lost every matchup except for who
It's
was it?
3-1 right now.
Shoffley and
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I mean, we
Yeah, I
could
don't really.
might as well just hop right into our first segment. We're gonna talk about the closing days in the MLB season. I think the first topic we should touch on the Tigers Guardians flip flop. I'm gonna let y'all start this off. Go right ahead.
yeah, man. I mean, the lead was once at 15 and a half games, which is absurd
What I
to
had.
overcome. It's crazy.
15 and a
I
half.
mean,
They,
you
like Chase said, they blew the 15 and a half game lead, and now they're tied. Guardians do have the tiebreaker, though, over the Tigers.
yeah, and
They
I think Cleveland started behind 10 and a half games. I think in September, and like the Guardians played really good. They've gone 17. They've won 17 of the last 20. They've played really solid. And like Callum said, I have the Guardians winning the division just solely because they had the
Yeah.
tiebreaker over the Tigers with 3 games left in the season. And honestly, in my personal opinion, I don't think the Tigers are going to make playoffs at all.
Tigers are
You have the tie.
2-8
You
in
think the
their last
Astros
10.
overtake them?
I think the Astros will take them, and it's because the Tigers are playing the Red Sox in the last series, and they're still fighting for a wild card spot, and they're
Yeah,
more hot than the Tigers are, and I think they're going to either sweep or win 2 of those games, and the Astros are playing the Angels. So I mean, like, it's it. I feel like the Tigers are gonna miss.
yeah. The thing about the Guardians over the past 21 games, 37 runs allowed. That's like around
Yep.
1.5 runs a game, which is absurd. That's an
They're
absurd.
They
playing the
have a
Rangers.
-4 run differential, the Guardians do. And they're tied
They're
with
playing.
Detroit, who has 68 run differential.
Yeah, that's
I,
that's pretty flawed. The Rangers have like the third best run differential in the
Rangers got
AL.
let down by their offense, though. Their pitching was elite this year.
I think they're gonna get swept by the Guardians in this last series because
See, I wouldn't mind that honestly as a Rangers fan. We're eliminated, and that would keep the Astros out of the
hmm
playoffs, and I would
Yeah.
love that.
yeah.
I would.
I mean, like I was saying, like I pray for the Astros not to make playoffs, but I see it happening because they always find a way to sneak in every freaking year, and it's so
Yeah.
annoying. But
It's definitely going to be hard for them, though, like right now. They're not in
I mean,
really prime
yeah.
position
Yeah.
to sneak in.
Even if they
I
get
mean,
in,
they're
I don't
they're
like their
one
team.
game behind. No, they're one game behind the Tigers right now, but they're playing the Angels, but they're in
Mm.
California. I mean, it's not that crazy of a
Angels kind of
home
blow.
field, but they do blow. But they have those spurts. I feel like where they just kind of like play
Yeah,
good when they don't need to.
yeah. Still a
Yeah.
But
baseball, still a baseball
still a
team.
baseball team, still MLB team.
Y'all
I
want to
mean,
talk about MVP or
MVP.
Mariners?
I mean,
Yeah, we can.
Mariners
I mean, it's as close as it'll get. It's very
last. I
for
close.
mean,
AL? I feel like for
Yeah,
the
NL,
last.
it's got to be Shohei again. Who
yeah.
else?
I
I
think
Who
think
it's
else
it's
is
pretty
going to
far.
win it?
The NL is where it's kind of blurry because I mean, like the last poll had 21 votes for Judge and then had 19 votes for Riley, and like you have like 2 players that have like monster resumes. Like Riley has 60 home runs. That's like what like he leads the league in
First,
homers. He's the first Mariner to do
uh,
that. He's the first like he what is it,
the
seventh player?
catcher. It's
Yeah,
the
first
catching
catcher to do
part,
that.
yeah.
and he's
Oh,
an
okay, yeah,
elite catcher at a hard position. That's his biggest
yeah.
talking point in the MVP
And
race.
then but Judge has a 4.51 on base percentage. He has a 3.26 average, which I think leads the league. And I
Yeah,
mean,
he
like
is like
you kind
better
of
in those stats, but like I just think you have to give it to Cal because obviously you can't really use like, oh, Judge has won it all these times, so we have to give it to Cal. But when you look at Judge and you look at Cal, Judge is having more of like the season you kind of expect him to have, whereas Cal, like Chase said, he's a catcher, which is kind of unreal. He's hit 60 home runs, but I don't know. I just feel like you look at the teams and you look at their places, and I think Cal is just a more valuable player for the Mariners
Yeah.
than
But
you know.
let me add on the thing where you're saying like voters fatigue. Aaron Judge is an all-time great
Yeah,
batter, and
Mm.
he's like they're just washing them away because they're used to it. You can't do that.
voter
He's
I
fatigue
feel
will
like
happen though. Also, I
it's
think
a
Cal's
similar
gonna
thing to
win
what
it.
was happening. I think it's a similar thing to what happened with like Lamar Jackson last year. They gave it to
yeah,
Josh Allen because he
But it
won
was
it
vice versa the
already.
year before. It
And
was like Allen had better stats and they gave it
yeah,
to
the
Lamar, and then Lamar
yeah,
had better stats and they gave it to Allen.
Dak.
yeah,
It was Dak, by the way. Dak
Dak
had
should have won in 23, but
yeah. That's a different
yeah.
conversation though.
But I mean, speaking on Cal Raleigh, we could talk about the Mariners, how they've won the West for the first time in 24 years
24-year
since
drought.
2001. And I mean, like, as a Rangers fan, Chase is a Rangers fan, Callum is half of a Rangers fan. I mean, like, it kind of sucks. Speaking of like how we expected the Rangers to do this year on paper, and I mean, they didn't contend with them at all. And it's just kind of like, uh, it, they've won 17 of their last 18. They kind of just blew up. Like they like were pretty much all hope is lost. And I read something, some guy like hired an Etsy witch to like put a spell on the Mariners,
saw that.
and they
And then
won
they won the
17 of the
division.
last 18. I
Yeah.
mean that's insane. And I like them as a playoff team. I think they're
Yeah,
they're
they're
going to be
getting- they're
electric
getting
with
hot
Cal
right
Raleigh.
now.
The favorite in the AL. They're hot. They have
Yeah,
a good one of the best pitching rotation. Good bullpen.
yeah,
Good back into the bullpen. Great hitters. They're hitting right now. They had a big trade deadline. It's
yeah,
I like
yeah,
them a lot. And then the Astros
yeah.
reign ends. It's almost a near decade of owning the AL West. Finally comes to an end.
Thank God,
I'm
bro.
ecstatic.
Jeez.
I actually had the Astros not being as good this year
I
earlier in
think a lot
March
of
when I
people
made
did.
my record prediction. I had the Mariners winning. I didn't have them winning as many games as they won, but I did have the Mariners winning the division.
Yep. I mean,
I just think
I don't
it's
know.
like you have disappointing seasons from the Rangers and the Astros, so you kind of, the Mariners did end up
Yeah,
winning, but I saw
it's
I
kind of
saw
a
the Astros kind of their decline, but for the Rangers, it really was kind of surprising their
yeah.
disappointing season.
I mean, we could talk about surprising teams as well. I mean, Callum's a Brewers fan, and
Yeah,
I think
Milwaukee
coming into,
number one.
I think, I think
Well, I'm
coming
not
into the
surprised.
season, I was surprised just based on not the fact that they won the division, the fact that they're the best team in baseball right now. I think
Yeah,
it's
that was
just like the
surprising.
fact
Actually, I will say.
they lose Willie Adames, which is one of the bigger pieces on their team, and you don't expect them to like compete as well, and then they go out and they're insane. I mean, they. What pitcher is it that's won like the last 17 games he started? I read
I think
something
it's Quinn
about it because
Priester.
Yeah.
is it? Oh yeah, it is. It
Yeah,
is.
Quinn
But yeah,
Priester.
I mean they're hot. They're
We also
really
lose
hot.
Devin Williams,
Mhm.
who goes to the
I
Yankees,
think
ends up being bad. So same thing with Josh Hader, who I guess has had a better season now, but initially when we traded him wasn't good. So it's kind of showing like, well, maybe Milwaukee knows when to get rid of these relievers.
I think that if they make it out of the DS, they're gonna win the World
I think
Series.
it's
I
less
think
than that.
that's
It's more of like moving around in baseball like affects you more than any other sport. Like, and it'll take a year or two to get back into the rhythm
I
of
guess
it.
yeah, we did see that for Hader.
Yeah, and you just got to give him some time.
yep. Yeah, I mean, and
I
then
also put the Blue Jays for surprising
yeah, I
teams.
mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Like the Blue Jays, they are, I would say, much better than anyone expected them to be.
they
and
have
then
to on
obviously
paper.
you have the negative aspect of teams, and the Rangers I feel like are like the front man of. I mean, we're from DFW. We're all Rangers fans in some aspect, and you look at them and they're like, hey, we added big pieces like Jock Peterson. You expect them to be like a good team. They won the World Series in 2023. You're like, okay, it's very similar team on paper, and they don't perform. I don't. It was disappointing in my eyes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's the offense really, because like I said
Yeah.
earlier, the pitching was elite, and they had a pretty good record at home too. But it was
48,
just
33. They
yeah,
were something like that. They were 15 games above 500.
but it was
Yep.
just the offense. You still have Seager, you still have Simeon and whatnot, and obviously the injuries recently to them, but you had them for throughout the year, and they just didn't really live up to expectations.
See, yeah, but on the deeper note, on the surprising disappointment for the disappointment, it wasn't the Rangers season as a whole, but it was their cold streak after their hot streak. In August
Yeah.
and early September, they were hot. They were a couple games back of the division, a game back of the wild card.
Swept us.
And then to go immediately
Yep.
cold after that is just they ran out of juice. It was disappointing.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I mean, do you have
I
any other
also,
disappointing?
yeah, I have more disappointing teams. I put the Orioles were kind of disappointing.
Okay,
Because
I
they
see
had
that.
made the playoffs, and last couple of years they looked like they were on the come up, and then they won. I think it was 70 something games they're at right now,
Well,
and
that
Yeah.
rotation is putrid.
they lost the division.
That was known coming.
Um, the Royals were kind of surprising to me, or disappointing to me, how they performed. But then my biggest disappointment for the year actually is the Braves, because
They
I had the
got
Braves
hard by
winning.
injuries, man. They couldn't stay healthy. That's I guess if you want to
Yeah,
put that in that.
I had them
But
at winning like I think it was 99 games or something like that,
that
with Acuna
that's
coming back.
that's too much preseason. That's a little too
You
much.
think? I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought Acuna coming back. He obviously was elite in 23, and so
One of the
I
best
just
players in
thought
baseball.
it would carry them. They'd win more games.
Yep. I think hopping into this last segment to finish off the MLB segment, the last NL wildcard spot, I feel like is
Yes.
one of the biggest headlines right now in the sport. The Mets, Reds, D-backs. I think it's gonna be a good finish. I think I honestly don't even know. Like y'all take it away. Y'all have more MLB knowledge than
All
I
right,
do.
I
yeah.
have the Mets winning the last wild
I
card
could see that.
spot. I think the Mets are already in position to win it, and you have either battling Arizona and they're battling Cincinnati. Arizona is going to play San Diego. San Diego is in the playoffs. They're trying to stay hot, but they're also battling the Cubs. They're trying to get home field advantage over the Cubs. And so I think San Diego has more to play for than Arizona. Well, not necessarily Arizona's trying to get in, but San Diego's also trying to play. And I also think San Diego's the better team. And then you have Cincinnati, and they're playing Milwaukee. And,
Yeah.
I don't want to
I
be
I
biased
wanna
here, but
I want to
I
say the
think
Reds. I want to say the Reds really bad, but they're playing a hot Milwaukee team, and like we
the
were
Mets
talking
are playing
about,
the
they're
Marlins. Marlins are
another
already
Mets.
eliminated.
The Reds.
Yeah, I know you said the Reds, but the
Oh
Mets
yeah,
are
yeah,
playing the Marlins,
yeah,
who are already eliminated.
yeah. But I think that the Reds will at least drop one game. They're playing Priester in game one. They already named the starter. Um, I think they're gonna drop that game, and then the Reds do have the tiebreakers over the other two, and let me see what I put down. I had it's an interdivision tiebreaker between the Mets and the D-backs, and I think the D-backs have a slightly better record, like by a game or two. So it's close. It's close for sure.
Yeah, well, I looked at Fangraphs. It's like a nerdy stat site. It gives you percentages. The Mets have a 70% chance to get the last wild card spot, which makes sense. The Reds have a
Yep.
19.6% chance. D-backs have a slim 2% chance. I think they would need to sweep, and they would need the Mets to get swept at the
Mm.
same time, which
Yeah.
isn't that likely, obviously.
Yeah.
I think the
The
Mets
Mets
will
have the
make it,
best run differential
and
out of all three.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think with that, I think it's a good note to leave it off on baseball. Um, I think we're gonna hop into. Y'all got any other notes for the MLB?
Did we all agree unanimously for Shohei as our NL
Yeah.
MVP?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
this was more of the AL MVP race down the wire. I mean,
I think my choice for MVP is probably Judge. I think
Really?
I think he has a better overall resume
mine's
in
Judge
my
too,
opinion.
and I hate voter fatigue. I think you see the same thing with Nikola Jokic in the NBA. He's just dominant, one of the best players ever that gets swept under the rug just because he does it so often every year. I
Yeah.
think you got to credit the all-time great Aaron Judge and win the MVP.
Yep.
Even though it is an
Yeah.
all-time great season with Cal Raleigh, but Aaron Judge is the best hitter we've seen since Barry Bonds.
All right,
Yep.
well, I have Cal, so
Okay.
we'll see.
All right, so hopping into hockey, I think we're looking at the NHL preseason. Bunch of there's been a few games so far played for each team. Can't predict based on the preseason, obviously, because not everyone's playing. But I think we're going to predict our top three teams for each division. We can go ahead and hop in and start with the Central. I'm going to go ahead and say mine. My number one, it's a little biased. I'm going to say the Dallas Stars. They add Mikko Rantanen, they
Great
hire
pick.
Glenn Glitzen, and I think that Glenn Glitzen's a really good hire, and people are putting a little bit too much uh stress on it because hey, we hired him in 2011 and he didn't do great. He like barely won over 500
Completely
and didn't
different.
make playoffs. Yeah, didn't make playoffs of the year, but you look at the team then, they were
Exactly.
filing for bankruptcy. They weren't good
Team's completely
back
different.
then. It's complete. You add completely different depth. I think it's crazy. You add Mikko Rantanen as a piece. You add Neil Graham as a hire for assistant coach. I think that's a really good hire because he's learning the ropes. He coached one of the best teams in the AHL and the Texas Stars for a long time. Coach Blumel. I think that they have. I think they're locked in. They have one of the best depths of the league. For my number 2, I have the Colorado Avalanche. I think as long as McKinnon and Makar are together, they're going to be super good. Like no matter what. And then they added veteran players at the trade deadline, as we saw last year with Brent Burns, Brock Nelson, Olofsson. I think that it's going to blossom into a really, really good season. It's going to be really competitive for those top 2 spots. Now for this third spot, though, I feel like it's kind of a toss-up, in my opinion, for the Jets because you Connor Hellebuck, the best goalie, if not Cooch. I think them two are the best goalies in the NHL right now, and I think that the Jets, just because if Hellebuck can return to the way he was playing in the regular season, they'll play really good. And then my other team, which is I feel like a lot of people don't really like consider this, the Utah Mammoth. They've added like a lot of good players. They added Nate Schmidt, they added Brandon Tanev, and they're a good young team. And I think that if not this year, they'll be really good the next year. But they're building it up. I think they're gonna be really good.
Hey, random question. Do y'all like the Mammoth branding? Like the logo, the name?
I like it a lot. I think it's really nice.
I do too.
I think it's
like
solid.
it.
I think
I'm a
they
fan.
did the best of what they could.
I think the logo's pretty good. I think the Mammoth is sick. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's pretty cool.
I think I
Like
like it.
they went pretty original.
Yeah.
For the Central, Herb, I have like basically the same. Dallas at 1, basically everything you said, and then Colorado at 2, McKinnon, Makar.
Mhm.
I did put Winnipeg at 3. I didn't consider the Mammoth, but I just feel like the Central, those are kind of just the top 3 teams. Like, who else is gonna?
I think the Central is the most competitive division in hockey because Minnesota obviously is going to be really good as long as Kaprizov stays healthy. The Blues are always going to be good
They're all
with
competent teams. They're all
they're all good besides
Yeah.
Chicago. But yeah, that's my opinion. What do you think? What's your choices, Chase?
Yeah, I think this division is pretty not easy to predict, but you have the top 3 teams. I like the 1
Yeah.
and 2, the Stars and the As. I think 3. I chose the Jets strictly because of goaltending. I think
Yeah,
I think that gives them the advantage over the other teams with that 3rd spot.
for sure. Okay, well, hopping into the Pacific, I hate to say this so freaking much, but I think that Vegas is
say it.
going to win,
No.
is going to win this division by a wide margin. And as much as I hate Mark Stone, as much as I hate the Vegas Golden Knights, they added Mitch Marner, and that Mitch Marner and Eichel like tandem is going to be the
Yep.
scariest tandem in the league.
That's what I was
At
gonna
least
say.
at least until playoffs, where Marner has had a little bit of that. He's been on heat for not performing very well in the playoffs, but I think that's
Toronto tax?
partially. I think that's partially because of the team he was on, and I think that when they make playoffs this year, which is inevitable, I think they will, he's going to perform much better. My second is Edmonton. I don't like Edmonton either at all because what they've done to us the last few years.
Exactly.
But as long as Connor McDavid is on that team, he's the best player in hockey by far. I think he leaves their window wide open. I think he's just like they just have a chance to do it. And then the King, I had the Kings. I feel like this is the exact same to last year. I feel like the West hasn't changed a whole lot, and I had the Kings here. They added Corey Perry, and you saw how he played last year in playoffs, where he was quiet when he was on Dallas in those first couple of years in with the Oilers. But I mean, you add Corey Perry as a good defensive addition. They haven't lost a whole lot. I think they're gonna do pretty solid. I think we get a Kings Oilers rematch again.
Unfortunately, I agree. I have the same 3 teams in different order. I put the Oilers at 1, winning that division. I just, like you kind of said, McDavid and Hellebuck is good, whether he plays good at times is
Skinner?
Yeah, what the heck? I meant Skinner.
If he plays the Stars in the playoffs,
Yeah.
they're gonna turn
He
into.
plays the Stars. He's
That's
gonna
You're
turn
one
into
that plays the
Hellebuck.
Stars, bro.
Yeah,
You could play.
but,
You could play.
I meant
Who's
Skinner.
Chicago's goalie right now? I don't even know.
I couldn't tell
To be
you.
honest, if Chicago's goalie played us at the playoffs, he'd play like a freaking god. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter who we play. But
Then I have the Kings at 2, and then the Knights at 3. But after what you said, I'm kind of almost rethinking moving the Knights to 2 and putting the Kings at 3 because,
I
like
think
you
the
said,
Knights. I
Marner,
think the Knights are
Eichel.
going to win the division by a lot. I think they're going to win the division by a very good margin. I think they have a very strong case to be the first team to 100 points. I think I just think that adding Mitch Marner alone just elevates them. I think if Aiden
Yeah.
Ho can play good, I think they'll win by a lot. I think they'll win the West.
Yeah,
Metro? Or did Chase hasn't gone yet?
yeah,
Chase.
I need to
Yeah.
go. I like Herb's right when they say the West hasn't changed that much. I do have I have the same exact as Herb. I
Mhm.
think Vegas is going to be good. I have them at 1. Then yeah, I think it's pretty chocolate right there.
Yeah. I mean, okay, we can hop into the. I say let's leave the Metro for last because the Metro's kind of I feel like up for interpretation with the last spot in my
Yeah.
opinion. Atlanta. I
Atlantic?
will hop into the let's say the Atlantic. I have number one, Tampa Bay. I don't like to say it either, but Tampa
Oh,
Bay does have a really good top heavy team. Their first two lines are very solid. Um, I mean, Cooch, Vasilevsky, Hedman, Gensel, Braden Point. I mean, they're all good players to where I think if they can stay healthy, I think they'll win. My number two is the Montreal Canadiens. They're a really good young team. Uh, Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, really good players overall. They are the best players in Canadiens history for like a very like, in recent history at least for a really long time. Um, they added Noah Dobson and Zach Bullock, which is a really good defensive pairing, which is what they need is more defense. Uh, Once again, it's a very young team. I think they're going to be good for a very good amount of time. My last spot is the Ottawa Senators. They added Jordan Spence. They need Brady Tkachuk to stay healthy, but I think that they'll make it in there. I don't think that this division's as competitive as the other ones, in my opinion.
okay. So we actually have kind of completely different lists here. Well, I have the Bolts, but I have the Bolts at 2 or 3. I can't really decide where to put them. Obviously,
Yep.
Kucherov and Vasilevsky and everything. But I almost feel like I don't know. I almost just feel like the Bolts might just like regress a little bit.
Yep.
Um, but I mean, obviously they're still going to be in it, and
Yep.
I just I'm
Yep.
gonna I'm gonna keep the Bolts. I'm gonna keep the Bolts in the top 3. I also have I put the Panthers at 1. Reigning champions again. Obviously, you look at the last couple years, they don't tend to really perform the best in the regular season, but once they get in, obviously, they know how to play playoff hockey.
Oh,
Um,
I forgot about the Panthers. I don't know
but
what I blanked about
yeah,
that. Okay.
I just feel like you can't really leave the reigning champs out, so I'm just gonna keep the Panthers in there. But then also the Leafs. I know the Leafs got a little bit worse, but they still got like what 112 points last year. I just felt like
I don't I don't
they
think
still have
so.
Austin Matthews.
I think Marner's since Marner's leaving, Austin Matthews plays good in spurts, but I think they're on their downfall right now to rebuild.
Yeah, I think
They
they'll
need to
regress a
change.
little bit.
I think they need to change their captaincy. I don't think Austin Matthews is a good captain in my opinion. Can't perform in playoffs. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like I feel like that's why they're not going to sneak into the playoffs this year. They lose a big piece. I mean, that could be what leads to their regression.
Chase.
Yeah, I mean, mine's a little different. Same teams though. I had the Panthers coming out on top in the division.
Hmm.
I
I
like
don't
the,
know why I forgot about Panthers.
I think they're a powerhouse. I like them up there. Second, I had Tampa Bay. The good team. They have star
Hmm.
power. They're coming back.
Yeah,
Bring your guys back. And then third, I
yeah,
like Ottawa. Like Herb kind of
Yeah.
tapped on them. I like Ottawa in that third spot. I think
yeah.
Toronto slides out at like the 4 or 5. With Montreal,
Ottawa sneaking
Montreal's
in to be
sneaky.
interesting.
Montreal's sneaky.
I think Montreal's sneaky. I think they're just really young, so it's kind of hard to
Yeah, it's
kind
It's
of
hard
hard
to
to tell
say
what's happening.
they have a
how,
big
how
Yeah.
their
window of what
season
they
will
can
go,
do.
but they have like a what's really how would you say it? Like
I think that if they can stay
they have the
consistently
possibility
good,
to be very good.
well, because last year you saw it kind of like on an up and down level to where they would get hot and then they get cold, and at the end of the season they got really hot and then they made the second wild card spot. And I mean, like it's just like I don't know. It's just yeah, I don't know.
But what are you
They
looking
almost
for?
made playoffs 2
Potential.
years ago.
They have
They
the
have
potential.
potential. They have potential. So last division, I have the Metro. I think this one's a little bit easier to predict. I feel like the top two teams are going to be the top two teams for all of us. The Carolina Hurricanes at number one. Logan Stankoven. I think that trade was good for both sides. I miss him in Dallas. He was a really good player, but the return was just too good to turn it away.
Yeah.
But I think he puts over the edge. They signed Keandre Miller. If he could play to a higher standard, I think their defense will really improve. And they also added Ehlers, and I think that is also going to be really, really good for them, trying to not get swept again in the Eastern Conference Final, which they avoided this year, right? They didn't get swept, but
I don't
they
think so.
they need to find a way to get over the hump, kind of similar to Dallas. My second spot is New Jersey. I think that is very heavily reliant on Jack Hughes, on if Jack Hughes can stay healthy. Because whenever Jack Hughes is healthy, they're a really, really good team. Like, they're really good. Jack Hughes elevates their goal scoring by like 0.5 goals a game almost. Like, it's insane. And then my third spot, I honestly don't know. Like, it's so hard to toss up. I'm gonna say the Caps.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
Probably.
yeah.
I was going to say, where's the
What's wrong
Capitals?
with the Caps? What's going through your mind?
I just think that I, I don't know. I'm kind of iffy
I have
on
the
the
Caps at 1, honestly.
For real?
That's a
Winning
little.
the
That's
division.
high.
I think
it
the Hur-
could
I
be-
think
it
the
could be really
Hurricanes
close.
are
Yeah, I
elevated
think the
above them.
Canes are obviously really, really good, but I did put the Capitals at 1. I think it'll be 1 and 2, Capitals and Canes. You could go
I
ahead and
think-
say
okay.
Canes will win.
If
But-
Jack Hughes gets hurt, I see Washington being the second spot. If Jack Hughes stays healthy, I think New Jersey's the second spot.
I don't
I
have
think
New
Jack
Jersey
Hughes
in
is
my
so
top
good.
3.
That is crazy. That's crazy. Who's your third?
Give me at 3. Give me the New York Rangers. They will get 3rd place in the
Dude,
Metropolitan
no.
Division.
He's
they're
trolling.
selling their team away.
No.
They're selling their team away.
They will
Bro,
get
they're
3rd
so-
place in the Metropolitan Division, and you can revisit this at the end of the season.
Yeah, bro. Okay. Chase,
Chase.
I can't get over that. That's insane. I think that's just a shot in the dark. I have the Canes 1. I have the Caps 2. 3 of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Ooh.
Really?
I don't know, man. I don't know,
Okay,
man.
I'm just gonna say he's
I'm
trolling.
messing
He's trolling.
around.
They're
I was like,
terrible.
I don't think so, bro.
I'm messing around. I have the Devils.
Okay.
I have the Devils.
I can
Okay.
see that. I can see that if yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
So
moving on
when
from
the,
our prediction.
when New York sneaks in, what are you guys gonna say?
Callum,
Yeah,
they're
bro.
not trying to win right now.
Who's y'all's cup favorites? What's your cup prediction?
Dallas
Who do you
Stars.
think's gonna be there? I think that Dallas will. Okay, this year, I think with the new hire of a coach, it's kind of hard to say
It's
because
hard
we haven't
'cause
seen it enough.
Florida. Will Florida just
I'm gonna
do it
say
again?
I don't know.
Go all the way
They
back
could,
again?
They could.
They
But
know
I
how to
don't.
play. They
I
have
don't.
so much playoff experience, finals experience.
I don't like them as much, and I'm gonna say this from a completely unbiased standpoint. I think that my cup final prediction this year is the Vegas Golden Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes. I think that's my prediction. I want the Dallas Stars. I think the Dallas Stars make the Western Conference Finals again and then lose for the 4th
Dude.
year in a row, and I will
Can't.
cry. But I mean,
Can't.
I mean, like, yeah, that's my prediction. I think
Yeah.
Vegas is gonna win the cup this year.
What if we play Vegas earlier than the conference final, though?
I don't think we will. I think we're gonna be 1 and 2. I think it's gonna be. We're not gonna beat until the end.
All right.
I like the
What's y'all's
Canes. I like
picks?
the Canes a lot. I think the Canes can make a run on their side of the
Yeah,
bracket. And
I think they definitely will.
unbiasedly, I think the
Dallas,
Stars are the best team in their conference.
Carolina.
That doesn't mean they're gonna win the conference, but I think
Uh,
they're the
on
best team.
on paper, I definitely think we have the best team. We have the most depth. You have Jason Robertson, Mikko Rantanen, you have Rupe Hintz, you have Miro Heiskanen, a very
Damn,
like
still
I feel like
breakout, baby.
people.
I was about to mention
Take
that.
it to the bank.
But yeah, like you have all these I wouldn't say young, but like they're young-ish, and it's a good young core. You have a good future in Wyatt Johnston. I think that it's a really, really good team on paper. I think it's just gonna come down to how is Jake Ottinger gonna perform when come playoff time, and I think that's always a huge storyline when it comes to the playoffs. Is whenever you get deeper into that run, how is he gonna like continue his performance to how he started off or like how he was in the season?
We're hanging on to that Calgary series. That was a
Dude.
lesson. But
That was sad. That was a really sad game to watch.
that was BS, man. That game 7 was BS.
You put up that many saves, and the goal that they scored on that freaking
The most
like
ridiculous goal I've ever seen.
it was the stupidest angle. He just kind of lifted it up in there.
He just shot
I
it.
mean, it's
Threw up a
whatever.
prayer. But
Give me Stars, Canes, Stanley Cup Final, Stars in 6.
Okay. I mean, I don't hate that. I feel like that's a real possibility. I feel like you can do it but yeah,
Chase,
I
what you
think
cheesing
okay.
about?
it's just nothing. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, I think we should each do one team where their window is opening right now, one team where it's closing because we are kind of running a little bit out of time. We got to get to college football and NFL, but I think my team for the opening, I think is the Dallas Stars. I feel like it's super obvious. You have a
Yeah,
really
for sure.
good young depth. I mean, there is a little bit of like issues with Jason Robertson's contract. Are we going to pay him? Are we not? But you have enough
Not for
veteran
12 million.
guys. You have enough veteran guys to where it's like, hey, they have a couple more years left in their contract. They can kind of be the leaders of the team, and then you have a younger core that you're kind of training to be the future. And we have enough of those guys. And Wyatt Johnson, I think he's almost there for captaincy. I think that Jamie Benn is a good captain, and a lot of people hate on him for being kind of like a dirty player, quote unquote. And there's times where he has kind of shown that, but like. I think he's a really good captain, not in the sense of how he performs skill wise. I think he's a really good like motivator and physical like aspect of a player. My closing, I think the biggest closing for me is either the New York Rangers or the Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins traded away their captain, Brad Marchand. I mean, that's a big one. The Rangers are selling their team away. Get rid of Keontae Miller. Igor's not been playing as good as he normally does. I think their window is pretty much closed. I don't think they're going to get anywhere close to playoffs
Yeah,
this
I
year.
think they're out. I don't think it's closing. I think it's closed. And to
Yeah.
go back to opening, I think the Canes and the Devils. I like what they've been doing. I
Yeah.
think they're opening.
I was
And
going to say
why?
the Canadians.
Huh?
The
Well, you touched
Canadians
base on
is
the
also
Cana-
opening.
if you, the Canadians is really good because I feel like they're going to be good for so like 10 years. Like I feel like their team is so young and they
Yeah.
have really good pieces and they're adding players. I think that they're just going to be good for like
I had Stars and
years to
Canadians
come.
for opening, and then for like closing, I think Pittsburgh is officially completely closed after last season. I
Yeah,
mean,
They're in rebuild mode.
and
That's a
then
hot take, Cal. They're literally like this is wide open. They're on the other spot of the spectrum.
they're probably one of the
No,
worst
I don't
teams in the
get.
league at this
I don't
point.
think we should even bring them up. They're like a bottom
No,
feeder
no.
right now.
Lightning is going to start closing within the next couple of years.
I agree with
Next
that.
year
They have
or
an
so.
older core. I think they have an older
Mhm.
core. I think the next few years they are going to decline a little bit.
And,
But I
and
think they're going to be good for a few more years.
y'all said the Stars are opening. I think they're wide open right now, especially with the acquisition of Mika Rantanen. They trade away
Yeah.
picks, they trade away a young star, and I think they're all in on the next few years. They have young talent, but I think their window is next few years for sure. I think
Yeah, I
they-
agree that it's
I
more
agree.
like
I
wide
would say
open than
next-
opening.
I would say next 5 years, I feel like the Stars have a really
They don't win a
solid
cup,
chance at the
I mean.
cup. It would really suck. I mean, okay, but we're gonna move on from NHL so we can touch
College
base
football?
into the bigger ones. Yeah, let's go into college football. We're gonna go through our picks, the top 8 biggest games of the week. I'll let y'all go first. First game, number 24 TCU at Arizona State. Take it away.
yeah.
Chase?
I have Arizona State. I like TCU at quarterback position. I think Arizona State has gone off on the wrong foot. I think they find it. I like Sam Levitt. I like their coach. They lost Cam Scadaboo, but it is home. It is at Arizona State. I think
Yep.
it's not easy to play there, especially in the Big 12. I like Arizona
Yep.
State coming out. They are the betting favorite, even though TCU is ranked above them. They're ranked. Arizona State's not.
Yep.
And I think I like Arizona State to come out
Yep.
with it.
How about you,
I'm
Callum?
taking TCU. Yeah. What
The
do you
bias, man.
expect? What do you expect?
I agree with Chase. I'm gonna go Arizona State, and I think that Hoover is a Heisman like runner right now, as early in the season. I mean, as you can say, and I think that, but I think that
Hoover's elite.
I think that Jordan Tyson on Arizona State is going to be too much for
Yeah, cause problems.
Horned Frog defense that hasn't seen enough from different teams. They've played SMU, they've played UNC, but we saw what happened with UNC. They're not that good. Where SMU is not as good as they were last year. I definitely think that it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a shootout, and I think Arizona's going to win. I think it'll be over the spread, but I think it'll be pretty close.
Did you do a score prediction or no?
I did not.
Mm-mm.
Me neither.
Okay, we'll go into the next game. Number 21 USC at number 23 Illinois. My
Yeah.
opinion on this game, I mean, you have Illinois that got blown out last week. They're bruised in the secondary. Xavier Scott is out. He's not playing. And I mean, you have USC who has a top 10 passing yards in Maeva. They have a top 10 rushing yard in Wayman Jordan, and they have a top 10 receiving in Mekhi Lemon. And I think that they're just going to run routes on. I think it's going to be a redo of literally what Indiana did last week against them. I think it's just going to be a blowout. I think they're going to. I don't think it's going to be close in my
Kyle
opinion.
Lemon is a dog, man. He's
Yeah.
so good. He's gonna be a late first round pick in the upcoming draft.
Yep.
On that
Yep.
note, I have USC too. Illinois
Yep.
got it handed to them last week. Fernando Mendoza, Heisman.
I mean,
as in,
he's good.
he's good. I have USC, even though they're away.
Yep.
I like USC.
What was Illinois ranked last week? It was like 9.
It was like yeah, it was like 9
like
or
9,
8 or
yeah.
something like that.
I think they showed that they were kind of a fraudulent 9. I also have USC winning this game by a medium to large margin.
Yep. Okay, going into a little bit of a sleeper game in my opinion. Number 1 Ohio State at Washington. I think this is a really really big upset alert, and I think that if Ohio State doesn't play up to their No, I'm going to take Ohio State.
I was gonna
But
say
I'm going to
that,
say if Ohio State doesn't play up to their standard and I think it's just a very big. I think Washington has a really good run game. They're at home. It's one of the bigger like sound inducing stadiums in the Big Ten, and I think that it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a shootout.
Yeah. See, I really like Washington, but they have a tough matchup right here with Ohio State being ranked 1. I like Jonah Coleman a lot. That's the running back for Washington. I think he is a future NFL player. He's a starter. I like Desmond Williams a lot. Desmond Williams Jr. He's the quarterback for Washington. I think they'll be ranked by the end of the year with a tough schedule,
For
but
sure.
I think it could be close, but it could be blowout with just the lack of talent or the talent margin that Ohio State has over Washington. I like Ohio State winning pretty handily.
I am taking Ohio State, but I kind of agree with Herb in the sense where like Ohio State could maybe not be necessarily treating Washington like with enough like respect for how good they are, and it could potentially, if it gets to a point where Washington's playing better than Ohio State expected, you could potentially see a close, upset.
And on top of that, I mean, their QB comparison, I mean, they haven't played nearly the same schedule, but their QB comparison is very, very similar. I saw stats on it. I think the completion rate's like 2% like different. It's like it's been looking
Between who?
pretty similar. I forgot. Between Ohio State and Washington.
Oh, Julian Stayen and
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, but I think it's a trap game, but I think Ohio State does pull out the win.
Yeah.
Number 4, I have number 22 Notre Dame at Arkansas. I think that Arkansas is not good. I feel like people are hyping them up. They were hyping them up a little bit too much, even though they weren't hyping them up like crazy. But I feel like they're like saying like they're a sleeper team when they're not. They lose to Memphis.
Bro.
They lose to Ole Miss, and I'm an Arkansas hater. I don't like Arkansas at all. I grew up an A&M fan. I'm at OU right now. I don't like Arkansas, but I don't think Notre Dame's gonna go 0-3. I think they're too good to do that. They lost to. They're 0-2 right now, but with a total combined points of like 4 points. They lost by 1 to A&M. They lost by 3 to Miami. I think they're a really good team. And I think they're going to pull out a pretty easy win against Arkansas.
To note on that, Notre Dame is pretty easily the best 2-loss team in the nation. I think they shouldn't be ranked a top 10 team, but I think they are a top 10 team with the talent, coaching.
Yeah.
I think Notre Dame comes out on top pretty easily. I got boys up in Arkansas. They'll be at the game, but I hope Notre Dame
Yeah, they will.
I hope Notre Dame.
I also have Notre Dame. Kind of like the same things you guys said. I don't think Arkansas is that great, and Notre Dame has kind of suffered, like Herb said, some pretty close losses with Miami and A&M, and I think that Notre Dame will win this game pretty decisively over Arkansas and get back in the win column.
The next game, a top 15 matchup, number 4 LSU at number 13 Ole Miss, and I think this is going to be a really good game. Originally, I looked at it and I was like, okay, LSU is going to win this game. I'm actually going to take Ole Miss at this game.
I am taking Ole Miss as well.
They made the quarterback change week 2 after Simmons got hurt, and Chambliss has been playing better than him, and I think that it's a home field advantage. I think he's going to prove that he's the starter. He's better than Simmons. I think he's going to come out. I'm not falling for the Nuss hype. I don't think Nuss is that good. Like last year, watching the A&M game, he played terrible going into a hostile environment. I don't think he's going to play that good. I think LSU's going to drop. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be close, but I think Ole Miss takes the game.
Chase, do you have LSU?
I have LSU. Yeah, I'm not huge on Nussmeier, but I think he is a good quarterback. He will be drafted in
Yep.
the NFL. He'll have to sit behind someone when he gets drafted, like Sean McVay with the Rams, maybe. But I
Mm.
think I like LSU. I like Nussmeier. I think 4 might be a little too high because LSU is ranked at 4. I think
I
it's a
agree.
little too high. But I
I
think Ole
agree.
Miss is a little overranked too. I'm not a huge Ole Miss guy.
Mm.
I'm
I
taking
agree.
I'm taking LSU over Ole Miss
Okay.
in two
Yeah.
score game.
2-score game.
2-score game.
All right.
You said Ole Miss, right, Callum?
Yeah, I'm picking Ole Miss. The same
Okay.
thing as you.
Okay, number 6, the game I'm going to be watching at 2:30 tomorrow. Auburn at Texas, number 9, Texas A&M, and I think this is a really, really big trap game for Texas A&M. I think Auburn's a good football team. I watched them in person against OU last weekend. There's a lot of controversy around that game and the refs, but I think that Marcel Reed is kind of sketchy. I am going to pick Texas A&M, and I think Texas A&M is a good team. They have Mario Craver. Marcel Reed has been playing pretty good. I think that it's going to be a shootout. I think Marcel Reed is a little sketchy. I don't think he's as good as people are making him seem to be. He has about a 50% completion rate. He's been throwing, if you're watching the games, he's been against Notre Dame. He threw into a lot of sketchy situations, and I think that he may make a couple mistakes. I think a big part of this game is the D-line has to execute for Texas A&M. They have to be able to get to Jackson Arnold because that's where he struggles is his pocket presence. And if they can't get to him and give him enough time to throw the ball, they're going to win. Like I think it's just I think it's a big trench game, and I still am going to take Texas A&M though.
I think that realistically, after what we saw from Auburn, against Oklahoma, where a lot of people would say, because you said controversial refs, maybe Auburn should have even won that football game. They're one of those teams that's not ranked that could easily be ranked.
Yeah.
They are a good football team, and I think that the better quarterback is Auburn, and so
Ooh,
No.
I disagree. I disagree.
dude,
I
I
no.
disagree. Marcel
Well,
Reed.
why do you
Marcel Reed
disagree?
is a top. Marcel Reed's in the top 5 for Heisman right now,
Yeah,
in my
Callum, at this
opinion.
point, it's kind of objective. Marcel Reed is the better quarterback right now.
I think he is a better quarterback. Jackson Arnold isn't that good, but I think he is better than people make him seem. He got a lot of hate at OU for not playing well, but he also didn't have an O line. He didn't have like offensive weapons, but he doesn't have good pocket presence. He throws into a lot of bad situations. He can throw a deep ball. He can run, but he doesn't have a great mid ball. It's kind of similar. It's similar. His style is similar to Marcel Reed, but I think Marcel Reed has better weapons. He has a better O line. I think he elevates above Jackson Arnold for those reasons.
I am still taking Auburn.
I think it's a trap game. I think it's an upset alert, but I think I take A&M.
It troubles me to take Auburn at Kyle Field against Texas A&M. It's gonna be a tough matchup. And like Herb said, the D line for A&M has to get after Arnold. I'm a big Cassius Howell guy. I think he's an NFL talent. I think he's gonna get after a couple sacks maybe. I like Texas A&M.
Okay, heading into the 2 biggest games of the week. I'm going to go number 6, Oregon at number 3, Penn State. I have Oregon winning this game. Penn State can't be top 10 Big Ten teams. It's as simple as that, in my opinion. They're going into a hostile night game, a whiteout game against Penn State. But I don't know, man. Drew Aller's 4 for 6 in his career against ranked opponents. He has 14% less completion rate against ranked opponents. I don't think he's going to play that well. I think Oregon's going to take it.
Yeah, well,
Chase?
I have Penn State, man.
Yeah.
I'm one of the biggest Drew Aller truthers. I think book this now. Drew Aller will be drafted late first round to the Rams. He will sit behind Matthew Stafford, play alongside Sean McVay. He will be a good NFL quarterback. He has all the tools. He has a great arm. He has pretty good mobility. He can be accurate. He needs to put it together. And I got Penn State. I can't bet against that night game, that whiteout.
Yeah.
I think it's a whiteout, but
Yeah, it is.
I gotta go Penn State.
I agree with Chase. I think, like Herb said, where Penn State might not be the best against ranked opponents, but I think that like Chase said, and you also mentioned, the environment really is going to help them a lot. At home, and obviously, everyone talks about the whiteout. Going into the whiteout, it's like one of the craziest environments of college football, and I think that could really help Penn State.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Okay, number 17 Alabama at number 5 Georgia. I think this is going to be a really good game, but I think it'll be a good game up to the end. I still think Georgia is going to win by 2 scores. I don't think Alabama's
Yeah,
nearly as I don't think Alabama's that good this year. I think that it, it's going to be a very telling game for both teams. They got blown out by Florida State opening uh opening game of their season. I think Gunnar Stockton is way better than Ty Simpson. Um, Gunnar Stockton had a 93.5 QBR against Tennessee at Tennessee, 23 for 31, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think he's going to play very similar, especially at home. I think he's going to play even better and elevate. I think they're going to win by 2 scores.
I have Georgia as well. I think Alabama's obviously we've seen not as good this year, and Georgia is playing very good. They could even be ranked higher than 5, and
And
so
I think another big storyline for this game is that Alabama recently has had a lot of issues going on the road and playing football teams. They lost to OU, they lost to Florida State, they lost to Tennessee. Like they're losing all these big games, and I
yeah.
don't think that Kalen DeBoer can get it done. I think they're gonna drop it.
The Nick Saban era is over, and Alabama's reign of dominance is also over.
Yeah,
Chase,
How about you,
I
just
mean, I have Georgia too. I'm kind of disappointed with Callum DeBoer in
mm,
Alabama. I thought he was a really good succeeder to Nick Saban. I thought he was gonna keep the reign going, but it has not looked good. I think he should be on the hot seat. I don't think Alabama should have probably after this week 2 losses in week 5 ish,
yep,
something like that. I have Georgia.
yep,
I think I have Georgia at my second or third best team in the country. I like Gunnar Stockton. He
yeah,
has weapons. I like
yep,
Kirby
yep,
Smart. Defense is good as
yep,
always. I'll go
mm,
Georgia.
the game is also
yep,
in Athens, so that
yep.
could home
That's what
field
I'm
for
saying.
Georgia.
On the road, Alabama's not good in my opinion.
Yeah,
Um, Okay, so moving on from the picks of college football, I think we could touch on some major headlines around the sport. I think the biggest one for me, obviously, is John Mateer breaking his finger. He was the Heisman frontrunner. I was all in on John Mateer. I go to OU, I'm a Sooner, but I mean, like he's so good. I feel like he was a little limited against the Auburn defense, and I do see that. He still threw for a touchdown. He still rushed for a touchdown, and he went about 300 yards as he normally does. He's has one of the best strength, like he has one of the best resumes so far. Played well against Michigan, which they were claiming to be a top defense in college football. They play Auburn as the opponent. They win. I'm a little nervous for this Red River game, but I think Michael Hawkins has it in him to be really good. I think he showed glimpses last year. He didn't have the weapons that we have now, in like Connect, and we have if we can get the rush game together, I think that's another big aspect. If we can run the ball, I think we'll win against them. And I mean, the defense is elite.
Yeah, man. John Mateer, I keep saying this, but that's another first round talent at
I
the NFL draft in 2026 is loaded at the quarterback position.
Yeah,
I
I
like
agree.
Mateer. I think Hawkins can hold it down until he gets back. But the big question is, will he be back for Texas? I don't think Hawkins can win the game against Texas, but I think
It's gonna
Mateer.
be They gave him a 3 to 4 week timetable. It was about 2.5 weeks from the game. He could play while still in recovery. I mean, it's not unheard of,
Yeah,
but I don't
that's
really
very
see it
big.
happening. I don't really even like it happening because I'm scared that he's gonna get someone's gonna hit his hand, he's gonna hurt it again, and he's gonna be out for
Right.
the rest of the season, and it's gonna screw our playoff chances. I
Mhm.
think that with the tough schedule that OU has, I think they need Mateer to come back healthy. So I think really you need to play Michael Hawkins and kind of just put faith in your quarterback, QB1.
Yeah. And I think what determines when Mateer comes back is how good Hawkins looks. I think if he looks
Yep.
good, Mateer could take 4 or 5 weeks. Obviously,
Mm.
that's not crazy likely. I think it's possible. Hawkins showed
Yep.
flashes last year. He didn't
Yep.
like Herb said, he didn't have much help.
Yep.
I like Hawkins. He wasn't very good last year. I I think he
For
can
sure.
hold it down. I don't know how good he'll be, but I
Mm.
think that determines when Mateer will come back.
Yep.
yeah. Obviously, Mateer. Um, if they have material for the Red River game, I don't know if either of you said this, but like how limited will he be for that game?
Yeah,
Will he be the same material pre-injury? But I mean, also you look at Texas's offense, and that kind of seems to be their problem right now. They
and
only were able to score
you put it
27
against
against UTEP.
an elite. I'm biased, but I think that OU's defense is the best in college football. You put up 10 sacks against Auburn, which I mean, hey, I mean, it's whatever. The only thing that I have a little bit of skepticism on is their secondary, but it was Cam Coleman. I mean, you kind of like have to. He's good. He's a good player. I mean, you put a freshman DB against him, they're going to get past him. But I think that OU's defense is going to smother Arch Manning unless
Yeah, we
Arch
can
Manning
talk
has
about
it.
Arch too.
Unless Arch Manning has his wake up game against OU, which I think is a possibility. I don't think that they're going to win the game. I think OU will win a defensive battle.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I think it's time to buy low on Arch. I think Arch is still that guy. Arch got a bunch of unfair hype coming into the season, and now he's getting turned on. People are hating on him. I think Arch is still that guy. I think he has potential to be the best quarterback in the nation. Too late for Heisman, but I think OU better hope he doesn't turn it around before their game, or else it's not looking good for OU.
I think we should hop into our Heisman favorites. I think y'all take it away first.
I got it.
I'm gonna let
So
y'all go first.
there's two clear frontrunners right now. It's Mendoza from Indiana and
I
Dante
agree.
Moore from Oregon.
Mm,
I
yep.
love Dante Moore. Again, another first-round quarterback that I think could go in the first round.
And I think that's why another reason why Oregon is going to beat Penn
Yeah,
State
for sure.
this week.
Him and DeCorian Moore, yeah. I think right behind the front runners are Carson Beck, Joey Aguilar, and Marcel Reed.
Mm.
Because Carson Beck had a rough year last year with Georgia, but he had no weapons.
Yeah.
Especially for being at Georgia. I think he's at a good spot at Miami now. And yeah.
Yep.
And then there's another thing to tap on is Jeremiah Smith is the only non-quarterback to have a chance at the Heisman. It's not likely, but I don't see anybody else having a chance with the Heisman except for him.
I agree with you. I think Mendoza is number one by a pretty good margin as of right now. Just the way he played against Illinois, a ranked Illinois team, I think really puts into perspective that this Indiana team is very similar to what they were last year, and they just elevated the play, like the quarterback position. They've gotten better in the quarterback aspect. So yeah, I think that's a big one.
Yeah. Obviously, before the injury,
I don't want to talk about it.
But I do think Mendoza is probably the number one now. But you know who could be sneaky?
Are you
Josh
talking about?
Hoover is not good
Josh
enough.
Hoover.
The TCU Horned
Josh
Frogs
Hoover
are
could
not.
win.
They're not
the
a good enough
Heisman.
team, so then they're not going to win enough games.
Josh
I
Hoover
agree.
He's
I
a
think Hoover is a
gunslinger.
good quarterback,
Is my dark horse
but
Heisman pick for the 2025 college football
Connor
season.
Weidman.
All right, Callum. What are your favorite attributes about Josh Hoover? What do you think
You
makes
know-
him so good?
He's just, his ability to just sling the rock,
Okay.
just throw it downfield, deep completions.
Okay.
He just has such a high football IQ. When
High football
when
IQ.
when players are open, he just knows that they're open downfield.
What makes a high
You can
football
see
IQ?
Watch him play.
Okay.
Watch him play. You see
Okay.
everybody open downfield. He's able to throw off that back foot. Escape
nice
the pocket.
Nice
It's
IQ.
just-
You're just
All
saying every like quarterback like
No,
term you
dude,
possibly
Josh
can.
Hoover
Alright.
is absolutely elite.
Okay.
He will
I
win the
think-
Heisman Award.
We need to talk about Gundy. Gundy being fired.
Dude,
Well,
that's sad.
See,
I'm mad,
It
but
was
also not
time.
mad because like, hey,
It was
it was
time.
time to move on from him. You have a bad loss to Tulsa, but like
See.
the OU and me wanted him to stay. Like,
Yeah.
keep being bad. Come on.
he went to Oklahoma
Oh,
State.
you don't-
He
you
was
don't
there
want
for
co- you don't
21
want
seasons. I think it was definitely time. He had his good run in 2010s, early 2020s, but it was definitely time.
Okay,
That was
who's
just
y'all's
sad 'cause
national
Clips. His
Who's
funny
y'all's
interview
national-
clips.
for who's y'all's
Yeah, they're-
national
It was like
championship
20 years
pick
ago.
right now?
Just like
I have
2014.
Georgia. I have Georgia. I think Georgia right now. I think Georgia's the front runner in my opinion. I think like I was talking about this yesterday with Chase. I think that this year college football, there's no team that is much better than the other. I think that in past years you see the Alabama dynasty, you see how Georgia was for that period of time. You had like I feel like it's kind of similar to last year. Like you have Ohio State, Penn State, they're all good. Oregon, it's very similar to last year, in my opinion. I think Georgia's gonna take it.
You think Georgia's gonna win? Who do you think they play in the title game?
I mean, I can't really say because it's seeding wise. I feel like it's kind of hard to predict right now.
You
But
could just say another ranked
best
team now.
team on best
Or
team.
not even.
Ooh, I'm gonna go Oregon.
It is.
I'm gonna say Georgia, Oregon. I'm gonna say Georgia, Oregon. We
Uh,
How
we
about
talked about it. Dante Moore's good. I think he's good enough to elevate this team to get to a national championship.
Georgia Tech in the
I
national
think Tech will be in the
championship game?
playoff.
Tech
I
goes
think
on a
Tech will make
sneaky
the
little
playoff.
run.
all right, here,
Sneaky
I
run.
got this. First of all, Callum, it's not sneaky, man. $28 million in the transfer portal last year. This shit ain't sneaky.
That's
We are
transfer
here.
Sneaky
portal.
We're
to the
coming.
outside viewer.
I'm here. No. Hey, we are here. The college football, it runs through Lubbock. I'm a Red Raider. I've been a Red Raider all my life. Baron Morton, he's that guy. Will Hammond will be that guy for years to come. We have recruiting classes coming. Texas Tech is here, and they're here to stay. Big Ten, we're coming next. We're coming next, baby. Send the invite.
All right.
Sign the contract.
What do you?
Sign the
Who's y'all's
contract.
pick? Who's y'all's pick for national championship?
I think I'm gonna take Georgia as well, but Georgia Tech
Yep.
in the final.
Well, I
Yeah.
want to tap on one thing. You said Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, not Verse Tech, but Georgia Tech is a good team.
Not Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech
They
is a
are
good team.
sneakily better than a lot
Yeah,
of people
but
think. That
we're
is
not talking
true.
about that right now. My
Hayes King.
championship pick is Georgia and Miami. I like Miami a
Yeah.
lot. I think Miami has
I
the
like
best
Miami
defense
too.
in the nation. Carson Beck is talented, good quarterback. They have weapons. They have good running game.
They've shown
I
they've been
like-
able to beat good teams. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I like Miami.
Okay, I think we move on from college football. I think we're just gonna touch base on UFC just real quick. I know it's still a week away, UFC 320,
Yeah, we're
in my
not
opinion,
gonna talk about Perth.
the best card of the year. We're not gonna do our picks this week, but we will next week on Friday. I think
Are we just gonna talk about the top three?
the top three fights are insane.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to watch Pereira fight. My goat Khalil Roundtree is fighting. I think he's gonna knock out Jiri, but I feel like this is a common
I am so
issue.
excited for that Yuri fight against Roundtree because it really
It-
could
It
go
really
either
could
way.
go either way.
Like
They're-
it just
they have
depends
all
on
the
how
power.
long the fight goes. If Yuri's
I think-
throwing the leg kick.
And I think that's a reason why Khalil's going to elevate is because whenever he fights in 3-round fights, he's a really good fighter. I think that's just how he is. He's only won one
Yeah,
5-round fight against Jamal Hill.
Jamal Hill.
He's only
That fight
fought
was
two
kind
ever.
of boring.
He lost
though,
to
but he was
Pereira.
just peppering the leg kick.
And I think that if he conserves his energy in a 5-round fight, he can be really good. And I was watching something, I think it was Joe Rogan, he was talking about the fight with Pereira, and he got to the 4th round, and he was up 2-1, and he was
Yeah.
like, okay, his trainers were like, okay, you could go for it, you can get this, and he got that he took that in as interpretation as I'm gonna go for the knockout, not as I'm gonna preserve my energy and play the long game to try and win this fight. And I think that's a big reason why he lost the fight. I think that if Pereira wins and he vacates the belt and goes to heavyweight, right?
Heavyweight,
I think that it leaves, if Khalil wins the fight, I think it leaves a wide open window for him to go and fight
But do you
for an interim
think
championship.
Khalil can beat Ankalaev? Because if Pereira wins,
It's-
Ankalaev will be right back. He'll be right
Yeah.
back for the title shot.
I don't know, because he kind of embarrassed Pereira. Like, I think
Okay.
embarrass
He didn't
embarrass is
embarrass
embarrass is a
Pereira.
bad word. I think watching the fight, it kind of like made me look at like I went into the fight thinking that Pereira was going to dominate, and I was like, okay, we're going to get a Pereira win, we're all going to be happy. And then Ankh kind of
Pereira.
I think Ankh kind of showed a lot of his his red flags. Like, I think that he played I don't think he played the fight as well as he could. And I think that Pereira will win this fight, but because it's a rematch, and I think that he's a really good fighter. I'm hoping for it so Khalil gets his title shot, but yeah, that's just my opinion on it.
Well, if Pereira loses, then what? Then do you think they still will give Khalil a title shot? Because
Yeah.
you said you were hoping for it for a title shot, hoping for a Pereira win for a title shot.
I
but
think that the
feel
only
like
way they don't give
Roundtree's close to a title shot.
I think the only way
regardless.
they don't give Khalil a title shot next is if Pereira wins and stays in the weight class, because they're not going to want to. I mean, honestly, they may even give him a shot there again with Pereira again,
Pereira
because
Roundtree too.
it was a good like in the first 3 rounds, it was a good fight. Like Khalil was using his weapon of like on his feet. Like he was doing pretty well. He got cut up pretty bad, and
Yeah.
Pereira took advantage. And you could tell Pereira was kind of holding
There's
back
also
in those first
Pereira
couple
playing
rounds.
the long game that
Yeah.
fight.
He knew that Khalil was going to come out swinging, and he kind of just was like, hey, I'm going to tire him out and then go for him at the end. The other fight is Merab versus Sandhagen, and I
One
really
more thing I do want to say about Pereira, though.
Okay.
Go back and watch all 5 rounds of Pereira versus Ankalaev. Pereira wins round 1, he wins round 3, and he wins round 4. And Sal D'Amato and all the judges sold Pereira so bad. You go on verdict, and everyone has Pereira winning like 4 of the 5 rounds or 3 of the 5 rounds, and it's
Do we
just,
know
I
if-
mean,
do
truly
we
a
know if D'Amato's
misscored fight.
judging 320?
He probably is. They have him on all these on every single.
I swear to
big one.
God, if
Last
Khalil
week we had
and
Dana White's Contender Series. We have the 2 women's fights. He
yeah.
completely sells that.
If Khalil and Yuri go to a decision and Sal fucks me over, I'm gonna be so mad.
Sal
I'm
D'Amato.
gonna be so mad.
I got one more thing to say. Dude, who else is
What's up?
hyped for the White House card?
I'm actually excited to figure out. I want to see who they're
It
gonna
just
put on this
depends on the
card.
card. Did you see yesterday? Ilya Toporius. He
Yeah.
tweeted something about anyone want to bet me that I'm not the main event. But the thing is,
And
who
everyone
would
in
he
the
be
comments
fighting?
is like, everyone in the comments
Who'd
is
he
like,
be
we're not
fighting?
betting against you anymore, bro. We're not betting against you anymore, bro.
Who would he be fighting? Because they want to make it an all-American card. At least have one American per fight, like when they do Noche and there's a Mexican.
Craig?
And all of that.
Maybe?
Paul Craig's Scottish and retired.
Okay, never mind.
Who
All
is
right.
fighting? Who is fighting? Because you look at the lightweight contenders right now. He's not going to fight Armin right now. They're not going to put Patty on the White House card. You know, they could give him.
Dude.
They could give him Justin Gaethje. He's American. If he's fighting Justin Gaethje, maybe
I wouldn't
they'll
be
do
surprised
that.
if the Gaethje.
But
I wouldn't be
Gaethje
surprised
gets
if the
knocked
Gaethje-
out 32 seconds into the first round.
Yeah,
Completely
100%.
falls asleep for half an hour.
I wouldn't be mad at a Gaethje Topuria co-main and then have McGregor fight. Having a McGregor fight would be insane. I don't think he's
McGregor
gonna
might
do it
not
because I don't think he's gonna do it. But it would be really really cool.
It would be
electric.
as I've been a UFC fan, I haven't seen McGregor fight live, and I
Yeah.
want to, but I don't think he's gonna do it.
But he's also not the same McGregor now as he was,
He isn't the same
back in the
McGregor.
day. But also about the UFC card, we want to touch on this. John Jones. Obviously John Jones comes back out of retirement and he's like, "Oh, I want to fight on the UFC White House card."
Duck.
Dana's the one saying, Dana's the biggest John Jones lover of all time, and Dana's the one saying, "I don't know if we could put you on this card because you're not consistent enough." But then also, after John Jones has ducked Aspinall so long, does Aspinall want to be kind enough to give John Jones a shot at it, or does he just say, "Screw you, I'm not giving you a shot to fight me. You ducked me for a year, wasted a year of my prime."
He would have the right to say, "No, I'm not going to fight you." He said he went through like 4 training camps and had to stop it because John Jones kept pulling out. Yeah. But I think we should move on from UFC. Just kind of wanted to touch a little bit of base on it. We'll talk a little bit more
We
in
didn't
depth
talk about
on it next week.
Merab
Merab Sandhagen. I think it's a very obvious choice. I think Merab
I
is
don't
going
think so.
to. I think Merab is going to
Merab
dominate Sandhagen.
debatably already the GOAT of bantamweight, but out of all his challengers, I think Sandhagen is a much better challenger than Sugar Sean. Obviously, O'Malley was the champion for a little bit, but a lot of people would like to bring up, is O'Malley really that good? I mean, you saw him say, "Oh, I'm gonna quit weed and I'm gonna quit doing all this and I'm gonna lock in for the rematch," and then he looks even worse than he did in the first fight. And so it's like, will O'Malley even ever be champion again, or is it just I think Sandhagen is a bigger threat, but yeah, like Herb said, we'll get into our picks in the next one. So next segment.
Okay, we're gonna hop into our second to last segment. We're gonna hop into our fantasy / sports betting picks for the week. I think we start off with a start / sit in our fantasy. I have 3 that I would like to touch base on. I think you start Amari and Hampton. They are playing. Who are they playing again? The Chargers are playing.
Let me pull it up. NFL. Chargers, aren't they playing the... Oh, no.
Who are they playing?
They're playing the Giants.
The Giants, that's why it is.
And that's a noon game.
Yeah, I think the Giants have let up a lot of rushing yards. I think Amari Hampton is going to have a wake-up game. He didn't play great against the Chiefs in that first week, but I think that fantasy points wise, I think they're going to run the ball a lot. I think they're also going to throw the ball a lot, but I think Amari Hampton is a good start. Um, my second start is Devon Achane. They're playing the Jets. The Jets have let up a lot of rushing yards. They can't throw the football. Tua is not that good. Tyreek has underperformed tremendously the last 2 years. They're going to rely heavily on the run to win this game, and I think Devon Achane is going to be a big part in that. My sit for the week is DK Metcalf. I think that they're playing Minnesota, and Minnesota has played pretty good on their passing defense. Don't have a receiver that's like received for over 50 yards against them so far. So I think that you sit DK Metcalf. I don't think he's going to get too many receptions / yards.
Yeah, well, I'll do it quickly. I have 3 starts, 3 sits. So 3 starts, I have Jake Ferguson. He gets so many targets, whether it's a dump off, whether it's a seam route. And
Yep.
PPR, obviously, reception, you get a point. I think Jake Ferguson is a big, and you might be playing from behind too, and playing Packers tonight night. We don't know how the game's going to go, but either way, Jake Ferguson is going to get his bunch. Then next, I got Cam Scatterboo. We got Tyrone Tracy's out. It'll be fully Cam Scatterboo going at it against the Chargers, who it's a good defense, but Scatterboo has impressed me, even though I wasn't big on him coming into the season. Then I got Jordan Mason, the starting running back for the Vikings. Aaron Jones is out with a hamstring injury. Jordan Mason has looked good. The O-line's good. Running game looked good. Now they have a constant quarterback, even though don't give up on J.J. McCarthy. Carson Wentz is the veteran they need right now. Opens up the offense. And I like Jordan Mason right now. My 3 sits are Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs because the Cowboys' strength now is run defense. I think even though they're not like the best of all time, it's still good. And I think Love is going to air it out against a depleted secondary, who's looked pretty bad the past couple weeks against the Giants and the Bears. And yeah, next I have Jordan Addison. He's coming back from suspension. He'll play this week. He's the wide receiver 2 for the Vikings. I think he'll be a little rusty. He hasn't had practice the past month because he's been suspended, no training camp. And yeah, third one is Xavier Worthy. I think he's going to play, and I think he's going to be a little rusty too. So that's my third sit.
Cool.
I had 1 start, 1 sit. My sit, Chase just said, Jordan Addison. Honestly, kind of the same thing. I just thought also Pittsburgh their defenses looked pretty good, and that Pittsburgh defense kept them in the game against New England last week. And so, kind of like Chase said, just being rusty and whatnot, he just might not be, good quite yet. My start for the week is Ashton Jinty against the Bears. Bears, obviously, the Vegas line has not looked great, but the Bears' run defense has not been great. So if the Vegas line can get everything together, Jinty should be in for a very big game.
Yep. Okay, I think we head over to our waiver / wire pickups. My pickups include Jalen Tolbert and Kevontae Turpin, especially with the CD injury. He's going to be out for the next few weeks. I think that's a pretty obvious one. If they're on waivers, pick him up. Trey Benson is another big one. He was basically splitting reps with James Conner, and James Conner's now out with a foot injury for the rest of the season. He's going to be their running back one. I think it's a good pickup.
Yeah, I don't have any waiver wire pickups.
I do not either.
All 3 of my leagues. I think everybody that should be on a team is on a team right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody.
If you don't have Tucker Kraft, pick him up. He'll be huge.
I have Tucker Kraft. He actually been playing pretty good. Okay, I think we give the sports betting over to Chase. I didn't write a whole lot down for this because I'm not really a sports bettor, but Chase and Callum can take these away.
All right, so I'll start with the spreads. I think Vikings minus 2.5 is a little disrespectful. I think they're one of the best all-around teams in the league. They have a competent quarterback now. Best coach in the league, in my opinion. It's such a good team, man. I think minus 2.5 is a good bet for them. Next, I have Jags plus 2.5. That is against the 49ers. A depleted 49ers just lost Nick Bosa to an ACL injury. And I'm a big Liam Cohen guy. He was the offensive coordinator at Tampa Bay, who led a really good offense last year. He's the head coach at Jacksonville now. I'm a big truther in Trevor Lawrence. He just needs to put it together. You can be elite, even top five, even, but might be a little late. Next, I have Ravens -2.5. I think that they're just a really good team, and I think they can take over the Chiefs.
If you're betting on baseball, do not put any money on Jock Peterson.
All right, bro. Okay, I think we head into our picks for the NFL for Week 4.
Yeah, let me pull this
I
up.
say we just go ahead and fire them off. Just one on one. You can give a little bit of a reason behind it. I think we start off with the early 8:30 game in Germany, Minnesota versus Pittsburgh. I got Minnesota. I think that they have strong momentum from the Bengals game. They kind of they disentangled. Like, it was a blowout. I think Rodgers has looked a little shaky. Yeah, I'm taking Minnesota.
I like Minnesota too. Like I just preach them. I like Minnesota a lot. Best coach in the league.
Yep.
I like Minnesota.
I'm taking Steelers. The Steelers, obviously, offense didn't look great. Defense kept him in the game last week, like I said. Rodgers did admit, though, that the defense kept him in the game. Said it was on me. I think they go into practice, and I think Rodgers and the whole offense, they kind of get things to click. I think that with Minnesota, obviously with the J.J. McCarthy injury, now you have Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz looked really, really good, against the Bengals, but you also have the question of how good really are the Bengals at this point. And so I think that the Steelers defense plays a big role in this game and is able to keep Minnesota very limited. Rodgers and the offense come out there and they are improved from last week and they take a sneaky win in Ireland.
I'd like to say it wasn't
is
the
it
Steelers
Dublin, Ireland?
defense. It was
I
Ramondre
said fucking
Stevenson that
Germany.
kept the Steelers in the game, fumbling multiple times. He looked terrible. He's the only reason the Steelers were in the game.
Defense, still kept they kept 14 points for
Yeah, because of
England?
fumbles. They were in the red zone multiple times, and they
You
just
still
kept
have to-
turning the ball over.
Okay. Well, you still have to force fumbles or
Well,
capitalize on the
it
fumbles.
wasn't anything special the Steelers did. Ramondre Stevenson just turned terrible.
I'm taking the Steelers regardless. But next we have Washington at
Versus Atlanta.
Atlanta. Herb?
I'm taking Washington in this game. I'm a big Washington guy. I love Von Miller. I think Jaden Daniels is a really, really good quarterback. As much as I didn't like him in college at LSU, and I shouldn't like him as a Cowboys fan on Washington, but I like Jaden Daniels a lot. I think Michael Penix looked very, very shaky last week. I think it just is kind of relying on can Atlanta bounce back from what happened last week with Michael Penix, and yeah. I'm taking Washington.
I'm taking Washington as well in this game. Obviously, Washington has looked not as good so far this year as they had last year. I predicted a little bit of a sophomore slump from Jaden Daniels. But also, you just look at how the Falcons played against the Panthers last week. They lose 30-0. Penix has looked very bad, and I think that, Washington goes into Atlanta and they take the win.
Yeah, I have Washington. Better coached, better talent, better quarterback. I think it's pretty good right there.
All right, New Orleans
gosh.
versus Buffalo. Buffalo's going to murder New Orleans. I feel like this is a very easy pick. I think Josh Allen is so good no matter what team he plays, but against New Orleans specifically, he's going to destroy them. I think, yeah, Bills by 1 million.
Yeah. I am taking Bills as well. Shocker. Bills have looked great. Saints have looked terrible. I think there's really not much more to it than that for this game. It's kind of a no-brainer. I think the final score here is like something like 38-6 Bills.
Yeah, nothing to add on. It's simple Bills.
Okay, Cleveland versus Detroit. I do have Detroit. You look at Cleveland and they do have one of the, if not the best defense in the league. I think that it will limit. I think it will limit this Lions offense. But Not enough. I think they're going to get in the end zone enough. I think that Aiden Hutchinson is really good. I think he's going to run all over the Cleveland Browns offense. Their defense looked really, really solid last week, and if they can keep that going and keep the momentum, I think Detroit wins by a pretty good amount.
I'm taking Detroit as well. Cleveland's defense looked good. Green Bay's offensive line looked terrible. The Packers have the better defense than the Browns, but we're not talking about that quite yet. I just think that even if you you limit the Lions' run game, they still have multiple targets throughout the air, and their defense did look good. But I don't think Cleveland can go and take down Green Bay and then go the next week into Detroit and get another win against, I would say, both top 5 teams in the league. And so
Yep.
I am also taking Detroit.
Chase. We'll refute the Green Bay Packers defense claim whenever we get to Sunday Night Football.
Dude,
but
whose defense is
give
better?
us your pick. Give us your pick.
I have Detroit for sure.
Yep.
I have Detroit. Nothing to it.
Okay. Carolina versus New England. I'm gonna take New England. I think that Bryce Young has looked
Don't hurt yourself.
very spotty. I think he can play good if he wants to play good, but he also plays really bad at times. And I think it's just kind of I feel like he's too inconsistent to tell on this game. I think New England's gonna take it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have New England as well. Obviously, you saw signs last week from Carolina. They beat the Falcons by 30-0. But I think that the Patriots have also looked pretty good, and I really don't got much else to add to that. I think Patriots are at home. Patriots win the game.
I have the Patriots. I'm a big Drake May guy. I'm North Carolina. Big Drake May. He was my favorite quarterback besides Caleb Williams coming out of the draft class. And
Okay,
I like Mike Vrabel. I like New England.
Yeah. I think with our next game, we have the LA Chargers versus the New York Giants. The Giants bench Russell Wilson after last week. Jackson Dart is the new starter. I don't think we have enough information from Jackson Dart yet to pick the Giants. I think the Chargers, Justin Herbert, most passing yards in the league right now. I think they're going to look really good. I think they're going to win in blowout fashion against the Giants. Give me the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers too. Obviously, you'd like to see Jackson Dart come in and play better than Russell Wilson at least. I mean, Russell Wilson is just throwing the ball. But I think that, well, yeah, I know. But you see him in the red zone, and he's just throwing it behind the red zone over and over.
He was throwing
again.
the ball out. There was no read. That was
He
a
was
little
just kind of
warm.
chucking it up and hoping that Malik Neighbors was somewhere. And so I think the Chargers looked really good. Herbert has looked great, and I am going to take the Chargers as well to go into MetLife, pick up the win.
Throwing a young quarterback into the fire never works out. Jackson Dart is screwed now. You see it time after time. It's not going to work out.
Yep.
I have the Chargers.
All right. I think this next game is one we're going to have a little bit of controversy on it. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that the Eagles always come down to a big reliance on their stoppage at the very end of games. And I think that Baker Mayfield is way too good to let them get that stop. It's just not happening. I'm taking the Bucs.
Yeah, give me the Bucs as well. I just desperately want to see the Eagles finally lose a game. I think that,
Screw the Eagles.
obviously they probably should have lost last week without that blocked kick. And their stupid tush push where everyone's false starting. And I just want to see Baker and the Buccaneers go out there. Baker throws for over 300 yards, and they pick up a win. Finally put down the stupid, boring Eagles.
I have Philly. I don't like Philly, but just the talent gap.
Yeah. I
like
see
Philly.
that. Tennessee versus Houston. I feel like this is another one we're going to have a little bit of controversy here. The offensive line for Houston, not good at all. I think that's going to be a big storyline, I think, in this game. I'm taking Tennessee. CJ Stroud hasn't looked great have you seen the thing where it's like ever since CJ Stroud had that conversation with Caleb
Bill
Williams where he
Williams,
was
yeah.
where he was like, "Hey bro, just keep to your stuff, like learn stuff." Like he's played terrible since that, and Caleb Williams has like elevated his game. It's funny. Yeah, I'm gonna take Tennessee.
CJ Stroud has got such a big hit after his rookie year, where he did play great his rookie year, but then you have him ranking himself above Josh Allen, saying he's the best quarterback in the league, and
No one said that.
CJ's yeah, I think he did.
No one said that.
I think he did, but
Him himself?
I
I
think
mean,
he
a lot of
himself said
players say
that.
that.
But CJ Stroud is just he's not bad, but he got an ego problem too early. People rated him way too high on the quarterback list after his rookie year, which they did the same thing with Jaden Daniels this year. But we'll see how that pans
No,
out.
the problem's the O line.
I'm
You
taking
can't be a good quarterback without the O
the
line.
Texans. I'm
I
taking the
agree.
Texans. Unlike Herb, Herb's taking Tennessee. I'm taking the Texans. But I I don't know. I think that the Texans don't look great, but the Titans are probably worse. And so even if it's a
Yep.
close game, I think Texans have got to get a win at some point. Chase.
I have the Texans too.
Yep.
Too good of a team to go 0-4. Really good defense. It'll give Cam more problems.
Yep. Okay, Indianapolis versus the LA Rams. I'm gonna take Indianapolis here, and I'll tell you why. I think they're very hot right now, and I think that they're not gonna slow down. I think that Daniel Jones isn't as good as he is playing right now. I think he's gonna come back down, but I do think that the Colts do sneak out a win here in a pretty close game. Yeah, give me the Colts.
Yeah, Danny Dimes and the Colts will keep on rolling, and they will take down
Indiana
LA.
Jones to you.
Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones, whatever you want to call him. The Colts will win this football game, and they will probably move up on my power ranking again and stay undefeated.
I have the Rams. Colts are good.
Yep.
Rams are better. Better coach, better quarterback, better receivers, better defense.
Yep.
That's it.
Next game, Jacksonville versus San Francisco. I'm taking San Francisco here. You got Brock Purdy back. I think they're going to play good. They do have some injuries on the defensive side, but I think that they're too good to drop a game to a turnover-prone quarterback like Trevor Lawrence. I think they're going to dominate. I think San Francisco's going to win the game.
I have Jacksonville. I don't really have much to say on this, but I just think I don't know. I think that is Brock Purdy still out, or is he playing?
He's playing. I'm pretty sure.
Interesting. I'm still going to go ahead and take Jacksonville in a close game. I'm thinking like 28-27 or something like pretty close.
Yep.
Chase?
Like I said earlier, I'm taking Jacksonville. Big Liam Cohen guy, big Lawrence guy. I got them.
Duval.
Yep. All right, a big game. Baltimore versus Kansas City. I'm gonna take Baltimore. I'm a Lamar Jackson. I'm a Lamar Jackson guy. I think he's
Like
really
her.
good. I think that the Chiefs are gonna do what they do every year, and they're gonna start off bad, and they're gonna explode out and win the division and make playoffs, and then win the Super Bowl. And but I think that we're too early in the season to where they're not on their prime, so I'm gonna take the
You
Ravens.
saw the TikTok of
Wait, what are y'all talking about?
The Ravens
the
versus
Chiefs and
Chiefs.
the Ravens. You saw the TikTok, Herb, where it was like the 8-9 Chiefs in the AFC
Yeah.
Championship against the Bills, and they went on a
And it's
virtual
like,
overtime measurement.
and they were like 1-8 to start the season, and they won
Yeah.
like
And they won. They went 8-1.
they won
to
8
end
straight
the season.
games.
Yeah.
Or 9 straight games.
I'm also taking Baltimore. I think Baltimore has gotten extremely unlucky in their last couple games, and I
Yep.
think Lamar Jackson is, still very, very good. Can escape pressure when he needs to, and I'm going to take Baltimore to win the game.
Me too. The Chiefs don't have enough talent this year. Their window's not closed. They'll be back next year, but they're not the same Chiefs this year. Baltimore.
Yep. Okay, Chicago versus Las Vegas, the last Sunday game before Sunday Night Football. I'm taking Chicago here. I know we touched base on Ashton Jeanty and how he's going to perform against this with this yeah, how basically I think it's gonna rely on how Ashley Gingy's gonna play and how that O line's gonna play. Um, if the if Las Vegas's D line can meet him at the line of scrimmage, I think Las Vegas will pull the win out. But I think that yeah, I'm gonna say that's gonna happen. I'm gonna take Chicago.
Yeah, I'm taking Vegas. Um, Chicago obviously beat Dallas pretty convincingly last week, but I don't think that I'm still not buying into Chicago quite yet. I think that there were a lot of weird games around the league last week. Prime example, Green Bay and Cleveland. And I don't think realistically, if you go back and play that game, I don't think Dallas loses that game again to Chicago. Um, I also, like I said earlier, to start GNT, I think this will be a big offensive game for the Raiders as long as the offensive line stays good and Gino doesn't turn over the ball too many times. But I'm still going to take Las Vegas.
Take Vegas
Just
too. No, I had them being the most improved offense from last year to this year. I like Vegas and Pete Carroll.
It's time.
time for Sunday night football. Cowboys fans versus the Green Bay Packers fan.
I will
Big
be in attendance.
storylines. Big storylines with Micah Parsons returning to Dallas. No tribute video as stated by the Cowboys.
Good.
It's I think it's gonna be. I do think it's good. He wanted to leave. There's really no reason for us to celebrate him coming back.
Well, he didn't want to leave,
I
but he indicated that he did.
he yeah.
He wanted money.
I'm gonna pick the
Well, then
Packers
why?
by a lot.
What? No, what?
You said he wanted money, but Jerry said that they offered him like the biggest contract ever, like more money, and he told Jerry to shove it up his ass.
Yeah, Packers gave him more.
I don't know if it was a money thing. I think he wanted out of Dallas.
I think it was a mix. I
No,
think it
he
was
said
a money
himself
thing and
that
it was
he wanted
a.
to be in Dallas, but the ownership wasn't going to let that happen.
I
All
think
right.
Jerry
$42 million
Jones
a
is.
year and $47 million a year, which he got with the Packers, is a big difference. It's definitely
Yeah,
money. It's so clear,
Hurt,
which
I
what'd
is
you
think
take?
pretty
okay.
ironic. Wait,
I'm
pretty ironic
taking.
because he said he would take less money so we can pay players around him. And then he snakes and says, "Nah, I want $47 million a year," which is the fakest thing I've ever seen.
Well, he talked about how
Yeah,
the ownership was not the best to him.
Huh?
That was his main thing. He had gripes with the ownership and how they kept having contract talks that weren't going anywhere. And so it was like a problem where he was like, okay, my value isn't being appreciated here in Dallas, so I want to leave.
No. He wanted more money. He got greedy.
Or what was your pick?
I'm taking Green Bay by a lot. Um, I don't like Green Bay as a Cowboys fan. Des caught it. And I think that I don't know. CeeDee Lamb's out. This offense isn't going to perform. I think Green Bay's defense is good. I don't think they're the best in the league. But I think that they're going to perform. I think Jordan Love is going to have way too much time in the pocket. This Dallas pass rush hasn't been good. Yeah,
Mm.
I think Green Bay's going to win by a lot.
I'm taking Green Bay by a lot as well. I don't know so much about Jordan Love, so much time in the pocket, especially after last week. But Packers have the best defense in the league, and a lot of it is Micah Parsons. Even if he's not getting the sacks himself, you have Rashawn Gary who leads the league in sacks because the pressure from Micah Parsons. You got a double team, you got a triple team Micah Parsons. Here comes Rashawn Gary, here comes Edgerrin Cooper, here comes Lucas Van Ness, and they sack the quarterback. They get pressure, they make him throw the ball too early, and it leads to uh, defensive stops. They get the Packers offense gets the ball back. Even with Cleveland last week, where they suffered a loss, the Packers are the only team in the league to not allow a touchdown through the first 3 quarters of the game to any team. They played two top five offenses in the Detroit Lions and the Washington Commanders. Neither team scores a touchdown before the fourth quarter, and neither did the Browns, who were put in position to score because of the bad Jordan Love interception, which I'm not going to blame on him. But I just think the Packers are they're too good to lose another game, and they're not going to lose to Dallas. Dallas is obviously very injured. CD's out. Tucker Kraft back. Not He's back last week, but more reserved. Give me Green Bay. I'm going to say I don't know. They're going to score more than 40.
What pisses me off about that the most is the contradictory. last year we had a class here in high school. He talks about how Micah Parsons
This
is
didn't
overrated.
happen.
But now he's on the Packers. He's the best player of all time. He makes us this good. He's this, that. And it's just like the flip of the switch is crazy to me. It makes me mad.
I never said Micah was
People didn't
overrated.
appreciate Micah Parsons, and now it just pisses me off. It makes me mad. They're not the best defense in the league. They have some secondary problems. You have to be flawless to be the best defense in the league. And
Well,
not
secondary is good too.
you can't be
You
just
see,
good. It has to be all phases have to be elite to be the best. That's not them.
I mean the Commanders had like one first down at halftime.
But you just talked about how you thought the Commanders were going to slump, and you thought Jane Daniels was going to take a step back.
Yeah, but they're
So
still the Commanders. I don't think they're a top 5 team, but they're still top 10. I just don't think Jaden Daniels is a top 5 quarterback. You have a lot of people putting him at like 3 after the end of last season.
that's
Chase, what's your pick?
Dallas by 50 at least, 57.
All right. This
Hey,
guy.
Okay, moving on to Monday night. We will preview this
Oh,
on
two
our
Monday
Monday
night
episode.
stinkers.
We will preview these games a little bit more in depth on Monday, on our Monday episode. We got Jets versus Dolphins. I'm taking the Dolphins. I think they're just gonna run it down their throats constantly, over and over
I'm
and over
taking
again.
the
I think they're
Jets.
going to win. Ooh, okay.
I'm taking the Jets. They lost last week, but I still think that they have potential to be better than they had looked they looked pretty good week 1, but I don't know. I think the Dolphins are probably a bottom 3 team in the league, if not the worst team in the league. I'm going to take the
that's just
Jets.
blatantly false.
No, I think the Dolphins are absolutely awful.
They're too talented to be the
And I
worst
think that their
in the league.
coach Mike McDaniel absolutely needs to be on the hot seat. I think he's not a good coach, can't beat anybody good. And
What makes the
uh,
Saints better than the Dolphins?
I couldn't tell you. But I just think after watching the Dolphins and you see Tua and Tyreek Hill's not been very great this year.
They had a really bad week 1, but they've played competitive games every week since then. I'm not saying they're the
Week
great.
2, the first 2 possessions, Tua threw a pick and then he got a strip sack for fumble. Or
Yeah.
if he fumbled and then it was a touchdown.
Bad sequence, but it was a competitive game. And Saints don't really play competitive games unless you're playing a backup quarterback.
Who are you taking?
The Dolphins.
Okay.
Cincinnati, Denver. I feel like this is another decently easy pick. With Joe Burrow out, I'm gonna pick Denver. I don't think Denver's nearly what we thought they would be this year as of this far. Bo Nix needs to step up, and I think this is a game where he can kind of elevate to where he needs to be, and I think that Denver takes it.
Yeah, I'm also going to go ahead and take Denver here. Obviously, last week with the Bengals, they got killed by the Vikings, and Joe Burrow being out, it's making a big difference, even though I still don't think that their defense is very great, even if he was still here. But I'm going to take the Broncos in this game to win.
Taking Denver. Denver has one of the best defenses in the league. Defensive Player of the Year. One of the best edge rushers, Nick Bonito. Bo Nix is not as good as people made him out to be last year. He's going to keep the Broncos in mediocrity for years to come. Everyone knew in the draft cycle he had a high floor but a low ceiling. He will not be ever a top 10 quarterback. He will be in like the 15 range. He's not that good, and he's showing that.
He's like a Kirk Cousins type of guy.
Don't disrespect Kirk Cousins.
I love Kirk Cousins, but he's not. He never, even when he was with Minnesota, he was never top 10. He was just kind of a mid-ladder guy.
He was top 10. It's at very like a year or two.
All right, well, that does it for our NFL Week 4 picks. I think we hop into who do you? I say power rankings. I don't think any of us have a list of our power rankings.
I made him
Who do
yesterday.
you
and deleted.
think? Who do you think are the hottest teams in the league right now?
Well, I can
I think
tell you that the
I'm gonna
best
say
team in the league
Chargers
is still
is
the
one of
Buffalo
them.
Bills.
In terms of heat and how they've been playing, like, well, I think the Bills are definitely up there. I think the Chargers are up there. I think the Bucks are up there. I
In
think the
terms of
Eagles are up there.
hotness, you got to put the Colts right up there.
They're also up there as well. And
I had the Colts moving into number 6 on my power ranking.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
That was okay.
Yeah, maybe they'll fall to 7 after this week.
I
Chase,
think
go ahead.
I think the Ravens, they're still my Super Bowl pick. I think they're the best team in the league. I think the Bills defense, I mean, the Ravens defense looks bad. Bills defense looks bad. I guess record-wise, I'd have to go the Bills are the best team in the league. Maybe the
Yep.
Eagles, but I think the Ravens are the best team on paper. They have a good coach. I think they'll win the Super Bowl.
Hey,
Go. Go.
watch out for the green and gold.
Green and
Who are
piss yellow.
y'all's?
I'm gonna correct you. Look,
No.
look at the flag in the back. That's not
Yeah.
gold. That's piss yellow.
Green and gold.
Okay, I have 3 favorites for NFC, 3 favorites for AFC written down. I don't know if you'll
I
have
could
the
do this.
same. NFC, my favorites right now. I think the Packers are on there. I think the Lions are on there. I think the Bucks are on there. I think those are my big 3. I think it's going to be an AFC Super Bowl this year. I think the NFC's having a little bit of an off year. I think the Eagles are also on there, and I think that this game between the Bucks and the Eagles are definitely going to show who has that third spot for me, either the Eagles or the Bucks. But I think Baker Mayfield is so good. I think he's been good his entire career, and I think people just the Browns just misused him. My AFC picks: Bills, obviously the Ravens, and then I want to say Chargers, but I also say Chiefs, and I know they haven't had a good start. They're gonna pull some black magic bullshit, and they're going
Yeah.
to make it to the AFC Championship.
They have the pentagram already drawn in the locker room. They're building they have the chamber underneath Arrowhead where they just got
Like
a whole
Tyrese
shipment
Halliburton.
of babies to sacrifice and drain their blood into a chamber, and all the players will inject it into their veins.
Reminds me of the Patriots, man. Hated them until they
Man,
left.
we hated them. Yeah.
Okay, well, for me, for the NFC, obviously the Packers are going to be my number 1 for my NFC favorites.
Obviously. Come on now.
Obviously. Number 2, I am going to go with Philadelphia. I don't like Philadelphia at all. I think they're super boring, whatnot, but I don't think anything's really going to happen in terms of the tush push being stopped this year, and they're just going to tush push their way all the way to the playoffs and a very high seed. It's unfortunate, but I think that for this year, Philly will stay amongst the elite teams. And then Detroit, I think Detroit obviously looked bad against us week 1, but Detroit, then they go and they score 40 or 40, 41, 46, whatever. And I think, Detroit still has a great offense, still has great players, and so I'm going to take them for my third spot for the NFC. For the AFC, obviously the Bills are my number 1 spot, and then the Ravens too. I kind of agree with you about the Chargers and the Chiefs could sneak in, but the Chargers did beat the Chiefs earlier in the year, so if they win again, they would have a tiebreaker there. I'm going to take the Chargers at 3.
For NFC, I have the Rams, Lions, and Packers top 3. Honorable mention to the Bucks, the Vikings, and the Cowboys.
Eagles?
Oh, I meant Eagles too. Eagles are.
And the Cowboys. And the Cowboys.
Eagles too.
And the Cowboys.
I think the Rams. I think y'all are kind of disrespecting them. They should at least be
Yeah, I
mentioned.
was high on the Rams
Neither
before
of
the
y'all
season.
mentioned them. I think they should definitely be mentioned. They should be 3-0. Great coach, great quarterback, proven,
Great receiver core.
really good receiving core. AFC, Baltimore, Buffalo, Chargers. My top 3.
Well, that pretty much, I think that pretty much sums up NFL. Y'all have anything else y'all want to touch base on before we go ahead and end this episode?
No,
I think I'm good.
we'll be back next Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you on Monday
Watch
for episode
Packer
2.
game.
Aftermath of football, we'll talk a little bit more on UFC, a little bit on
Yeah,
Monday
our
Night Football, and
Our week 4
And,
reactions.
we'll see you there.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Take care, everybody.
Under. Under.